not going anywhere.
All right, so somebody want to give us a little overview of what we're doing here today on this car?
Okay, so we are going to be doing an oil change. Pretty simple procedure. And whose car is this?
That's mine.
Marty, how did you get this car? Where'd you buy it?
I got it at the 2006 Delorean car show in St. Charles. I won it in the raffle.
Martin Lick.
Two tickets, 1 out of 2. You and I own it. The keys are in it. We'll transfer title and whatever, and however we need to do it. It's all yours. Go and enjoy.
Volunteers for going to be the improv part of the show, meet me in the lobby in just a minute, please. We're going to do a little warm up and then we'll be.
Okay. All right, so come on around back and we'll show you what's going on.
All right.
Okay, so let's first show you where the drain plug is on this engine. And unfortunately, it's right between, I don't know if you could get right in here, it's right between the frame and the oil pan right there. And it's got the stock oil drain plug has a square plug, which you either have to make your own tool or you have to buy a special socket. It looks like Marty made his own actually out of a bolt. That's awesome. You just bent a bolt and then ground it down, right?
Jiffy Lube did that the first time I took the car in. No, don't take your car to Jiffy Lube.
I do have a ratchet that's ground down if you want to use that
The other thing you
too.
could do is you could take a cheap ratchet and grind it down a little bit, or you can buy the sockets. Usually, I've got a snap-on one. It was like $35 or something like that. So why don't you come around here, we'll show you where the oil filter is. Okay, so you got a lot going on here. Actually, it looks like there's an oil leak somewhere because we got a lot of oil seepage going around here. This is your oil filter, and right here you got your oil pressure sender. All right, right above there, I don't know if you can catch that, there is another square drain plug right there. That is a coolant drain. So if you ever decide to flush your car out completely of all the coolant or drain it out completely, you can drain it out with that passenger side coolant drain. There is another one on the driver's side, which fortunately it's like right above the catalytic converter. You're probably not going to be able to see it. Maybe you could squeeze the camera in there.
Oh, we got it.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah. So unfortunately they're just very hard to get to underneath the car. You got to get the right amount of leverage on it. So we're going to get this oil drain pan screwed up close. We're going to take out the drain plug, drain all the 7 quarts of oil, and then we'll put the new filter on with the crush washer. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then we just got to refill it.
All right.
Simple.
Ready to go?
Yep.
All right. All right.
All right, come on in here. So first of all, let me get the socket, which seems to be falling off my ratchet. There's the proper socket that you need to get out the stock oil drain plug, or any of the coolant drain plugs, or the automatic transmission drain plug. Anyway, that's what they used in Europe, I guess, at the time.
When you buy that at the store, is there a size number on that at all? Or
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
I don't remember offhand. Bought it like 15 years ago. Okay, now obviously when the oil comes out, it's going to come shooting across this frame here. So what we've done is just put a little piece of cardboard there. The other thing I've done before is wrap it with foil, and you can make like a little channel in the foil, like aim it down right into your catch basin. So, but here we're just going to use ordinary cardboard. We'll slip the socket in there and we'll get it undone.
all right.
Yeah. I don't even know if the socket's going to fit. You want the light on? Is that up?
There we go. Group effort here.
I'm probably getting in your way.
All right. I'm just gonna use a ratchet. All right, are you taping still?
Yep.
All right, so the best thing to do is always have your oil hot or warm at least, because that'll hopefully flush out anything that's at the bottom of the pan. Also helps the oil flow a little bit freer, obviously. And on these oil drain plugs, there's a copper crush washer, which helps seal it up against the oil drain pan or the oil pan, because there's always imperfections in the castings. And lost my socket. That's all right. Should be able to spin.
All right, is he gonna get fingers oily? Let's see.
Yeah, this is always fun here, because there's just no easy way to get this drain plug out without burning yourself. And it is hot. Now the nice thing about this catch basin, it's got the
Yeah, you don't lose
filter
your.
material, so you don't lose your drain plug. All right, there it is. The 7 quarts of oil spilling out right now.
7 quarts of chocolatey goodness. Well, at least it's not black.
Probably doesn't drive it that much.
From time
No.
to time. Go ahead, say it.
Yeah, just gets driven from time to time.
When did you last change your oil, Marty?
I don't know. It's been years, but I don't drive it much.
All right, so let's take a look at the drain plug a little bit closer. There's a piece of debris on there, but you'll see the copper crush washer. These are disposable, don't reuse them. You could possibly reuse like 2 of them at once, but you want to be able to get a copper crush washer that is going to crush correctly and seal up that drain plug with all the flaws in the casting of the pan there. It's not a regular sheet metal pan, it's just an aluminum casted pan. So I don't know if it's magnetic or not, but there seems to be some crud at the end of the
Focus, there we go.
drain plug there. I'm just going to wipe that crud off. Probably test that, see if it's magnetic. Seems to be. The great thing is when you buy a oil filter from one of the vendors, they usually include the copper crush washer. So. All right, so next thing we got to do is obviously change the filter, and this could be a little fun because it's very hot. So you got to really get the kung fu grip on it. Probably shouldn't say kung fu, right?
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
No,
We
it's
could
the
redo
G.I.
that.
Joe thing, man.
And there's really no way around this again, unless you take like a sheet of foil.
I'm over here.
Take a sheet of foil and kind of wrap it underneath the filter. But you know what? Sometimes it's just British rust proofing. So. Let that spill out. And it looks like a Bosch filter. I'm not sure, but that's obviously a very good filter. All right, so what we're going to do is just wipe up some of that oil, and then we'll put the new filter on. Okay, so this is a brand new crush washer. It's kind of puffy. It's like hollow in the center. So, and we got to put that on, and then obviously put it right back into the oil pan. I usually just get it snug, and then I'll just give it maybe like a quarter turn or half turn with the ratchet, and then that's it. There's no reason to get it super tight. You just want to get it a little bit snug. Otherwise, you're going to strip the threads out. It's not snug yet. All right, now it's getting snug. And that's it. Once you really feel resistance, you don't need to tighten it anymore. All right, so this is what we're using today. We're using a German-made man filter, and we're going to pre-fill it ahead of time before we put it up there. Some people say you don't need to do that. Other people say, yes, why not do that? So I don't know what everyone else thinks. You could leave a comment if you want.
I know there's a lot of camps on what type of oil to use too, brands and stuff. I've seen a lot of
and
that.
we're not going to get into that, but this is what I always use. I always use Castrol 20W50, and it is thick. But it's an older engine, and clearances are a little bit looser or more spread apart. I don't know how you'd say that. Anyway, thick oil has been used in this for a long time. All right, I'm going to just wipe a little bit of oil around the gasket there. That'll help free it up when it comes time to remove it. And I just tip it around, let it drain into the oil filter a little bit. You don't want to lose all that oil when you put it up in the air. I think this specific filter, I don't know if you could see it, has a drain back valve or a check valve in there. So it'll keep oil in the filter ready to go when you start the car. Some filters don't have that. So you want to obviously get a filter that the vendors recommend or just buy directly from the vendors. All right, let's put this in. Screw it on. There it is. And just get the good grip on there. Once it's really tight, that's all you need. And we'll just wipe up the rest of the oil that escaped. And that is about it. We're ready to put this thing back on the ground and fill it up.
And then we pull that guy. Just set it off to the side.
Yeah, there's not a typical oil filter, or sorry, an oil filler. Rewind that. Yeah, there's not a typical oil filler cap on these DeLoreans. We just put it right into the valve cover there. We're going to get a big funnel and start filling it up. These are thirsty engines. The increased oil capacity helps cool it down a little bit. Can't imagine too much though. Right below the oil filler, or that hole in the valve cover, we got the dipstick down here, so we're just going to pull that out, clean it off, and then we'll check the oil out. Okay, actually, it appears to be about 3/4 of the way up, right in between the two notches. I'd say that's pretty good right there. We could add a little bit more, or we could just leave it. We'll probably add a little bit more. All right, so another little thing to point out is that in your oil filler, there's this tiny mesh screen down there at the bottom. And what I've been told is that if that mesh screen is if it's missing, that means your car is overheated at some point, because that will melt and it will go bye-bye. Actually, so now, I don't know if you can tell, it's only about a quarter of the way up between the two notches. So let's just dump the rest of it in.
All right, yeah, we got a new oil filter too here, I see.
Yeah, and actually this one was super tight. So here's what we did. We asked one of the shop techs here, and he gave us this one here that kind of auto expands and you attach it to a ratchet. Watch this. Pretty neat.
Oh, let's get in there.
And it just kind of grips onto the filter.
That's cool.
Pretty neat. And it's coming. I'll let you do that.
Thank you, sir.